Hello everyone, welcome again to my channel. Thanks for clicking on this video. I hope you are well, I hope you are fine, I hope you are doing well with your preparations for the National Baccalaureate Exam. In this episode, as I promised, we are going to talk about writing, the writing part of the National Baccalaureate Exam. And the first thing that I'd like you to know about this part is always in the writing part, we always ask question. Number one, the question first is to write what to write, and number two, the second question, to write about what. So if you can answer these two questions, it will be easier for you to write what and to write about what. And when I say to write what, I mean what you are asked to write. For example, paragraph or essay or article or report or email or letter, what you are asked to write about. This is number one. So the first thing you have to identify is to know what you should or what you are asked to write about. And this is number one. Number two is to write about what. And when I say to write about what, here I mean the topic. So you have to understand the topic and what you are asked to write about. So these are two very essential questions that you have to answer, to write what and to write about what. This is the first thing that I'd like you to know. In the National Baccalaureate Exam, as you can see, we have always they give you two tasks. Task number one, as you can see, so this is the writing part. Task number one is most of the time, if not always, they ask you to complete a paragraph, to write a paragraph. They give you a paragraph, they start a paragraph, and you complete it. And usually, they start the paragraph with the topic sentence. They give you the topic sentence of the paragraph and you complete. For example, here, the topic sentence they give you, I prepare for my exams in different ways. First. So you have to give the way, number one, first, second, third, and fourth, if you have four, and then finally. We are going to talk about that later. This is for task number one. And if you go to task number two is most of the time essay or email or maybe letter or perhaps a report. So this is what task number two is all about. For example, here, task two, violence in schools has become a serious problem in Morocco. Write an article explaining the causes of this phenomenon. So here they ask you to write an article or an essay about what? About the problem of violence in school. So problem of violence in school has causes and has effects. But here they ask you to write only about the causes, okay? The causes. All right, so as you can see, the same thing here, but here, for example, in task number two, look at this one. In task two, they ask you to write the email. So here we have an email. This is a format of an email, and you write. Here we have, I'm tired of Facebook and WhatsApp. I think I should stop using them. What do you think about this? I really need your advice. This is an email that you received, and you are asked here to respond to this email. This is a friend email. You are asked to respond to it. Okay, so this is it. So this is an email, and the first thing that I'd like you to know about the first task. Let's talk about task number one, and has to do with the paragraph. Now, in writing paragraphs, always we have the topic sentence, we have the supporting sentences, and we have the concluding sentence. So these are three components of a paragraph. The topic sentence, here is the topic sentence. For example, here we have, I prepare for my exams in different ways. So this is the topic sentence. And you have to support this sentence with what we call supporting sentences. So first, the first way, second, third, and if you finish, you say finally. But remember, finally is not the concluding sentence. It's not for concluding sentence, no, but it is for the last way. So when you say first, I mean first way, I prepare for my exam. Second, I mean second way, I prepare for my exams. The third way, I prepare for my exam. Finally, I mean the last way. So you put full stop. When you finish, when you say finally and you give the way, that's it. You finish? No. You have to add the concluding sentence to close your paragraph. And therefore, here you should say, for example, here we are talking about the ways we prepare for exams. So you can say, this is how I prepare for my exams, or this is what helps me get high marks in exams, or these are the ways that help me get high marks in exams. These are examples of concluding sentences that you can use to conclude the paragraph. If we go to this one, here we are talking about the advantages of sport, the advantages of playing sport. First advantage, second advantage, third advantage, fourth, you can talk about fourth advantage, and finally. When you say finally, which means the last advantage. Have you finished the paragraph? No. The concluding sentence. The concluding sentence, you can say, for example, you can say, this is why I play sports, or this is why most people play sport, or this is why doctors advise people to play sport. Okay, so these are examples, as I said, of concluding sentence. So just keep in mind, in paragraph, the topic sentence that you are given here, the supporting sentences with linking words like first, second, or also, and the concluding sentence to finish and close. Let's go to part number 2. Here, as you can see, we have the violence in school has become a serious problem in Morocco. Write an article explaining the causes of this phenomenon. Now, this is an article or an essay. How many paragraphs do you think we will have in this essay or in this article? Very simply, you can write 3 paragraphs. Paragraph number 1, introduction, to introduce the problem, okay? And you can finish the introduction with a question. For example, we can say, so what are the causes of this phenomenon, or what are the causes of this problem? And the body. The body here will contain only 1 paragraph. And the paragraph that you are going to use here for the body is going to be about the causes. The one cause of, also the last cause of. So you can present here 3 causes. If you present 3 causes, that's enough. You present the causes and you try to explain them. You try to explain them with expressions like of explaining, for example, there's, that is to say, in other words. So these are expressions of explaining. All right, and then conclusion. The conclusion with the expression, for example, to sum up, or in brief, or to conclude. And you try to give maybe your opinion, or to advise, okay, people, you can give an advice, all right, to student or to parents, etc. So this is something that you have to do in such example, okay, in such example. All right, so this is just an explanation of what you have to do in the National Baccalaureate exam. So as I said, in the National Baccalaureate exam, you have 2 tasks. Task number 1 is usually, if not always, paragraph, and number 2, the essay or article or report or review or email or letter. This is for something which is general. Now, what I'd like you to keep in mind is that in writing, the only thing that you have to keep in mind, writing whatever, paragraph, essay, letter, whatever, always try to keep in mind and remember and respect cops. Cops, very essential. Because if you write, whatever you write, if you don't respect cops, your writing will be invalid and will not be good, and you will not get high marks in your writing. So the appropriate way to get high marks in writing is to respect cops, capitalization, organization, punctuation, and spelling. Capitalization, try always to use capitalization when it is necessary to use capitalization. For example, in the beginning of paragraphs, after full stop, names. These are words that we start with capital letter. Organization, try to make your writing well organized. Don't cross out. Don't use the overuse of correction pen. It's not good. So try to make your handwriting also very clear and beautiful. And the appropriate way to do this is to use drafts. Use drafts. Don't write directly to the exam paper. Okay, so this is for organization. Punctuation is very essential. Punctuation, when I say punctuation, I mean punctuation marks. For example, full stop or comma or question mark, etc. And the only way that can help you do this is just keep in mind this when you finish a sentence, full stop. And linking words help you a lot to use the punctuation marks. For example, let's say playing sports has a lot of advantages, full stop, first, comma, second, comma. So as you can see here, we linking words can help you use punctuation marks easily. Then we still have another one, the last one, which is spelling. And when I say spelling, I mean correctness. Try to use words, simple words that you can write easily and you know how they are spelled. So these are the 4 things that you have to respect: capitalization, organization, punctuation, and spelling. Respect these things if you want to get high marks. Okay, I wish you good luck. I wish you learned something from this episode. Again, if you have any question or suggestion, you can ask. You're welcome. Don't forget that in my channel, I have several episodes about writing paragraph, writing essays, and also I have a specific episode about cops that you can go back to it and watch it. I'm sure you will learn a lot about it. Okay, see you in another episode. Have a good time. Goodbye and good luck.